Welcome to SQL in 6 minutes. Since so many people ask, one of the first things that I want to state in this trailer is that the Automating ETL coupon is exclusively listed in the description of this video. As far as the Skillshare coupons, they are when you sign up for Skillshare, since it's a subscription-based service. So they are always the standard 1 to 2 month discounts. There's no special discount for them on the Skillshare platform. They have their standard discount. So if you are looking for the Automating ETL coupon, it is in the video's description. That's for the people that I sent this video to. Now, SQL in 6 minutes, in the past we have covered new technology, we have covered new development ideas. One of those new development ideas, when it was very early, I think this was in 2014, I believe, was MongoDB. And MongoDB was actually relatively new at the time, and if you all remember, many people in the SQL community kind of dismissed it, even though it was covering document data, which SQL does not. And in fact, Oracle even wrote a white paper, which I saved, stating that all of the features of NoSQL were useless. And then 6 months later, they released a NoSQL engine, which I thought was funny. As you see, MongoDB has actually outperformed Oracle, Amazon, and Microsoft. And that's not to say you should dump your shares of those companies, because you shouldn't. But it does show that if you were working with new technology, if you were working with MongoDB, you knew its niche and you knew exactly where it would work. And you also knew that there was going to be competition eventually because it was going to stick around, and it has, and it's done very well. That is not to say that it'll do well in the future, because now it does have a lot of competition. But it was interesting that a lot of people were dismissing it, and those of us who worked with it early knew that it actually had a place. And in fact, MongoDB, before SQL Server, which is also featured on this channel, did in-memory collections before SQL Server did in-memory tables. And so it was funny to me when I was listening to some of the people in the SQL Server community talk about in-memory tables and the challenges that they faced. I was laughing because I was like, well, we already knew that in MongoDB. Like, a lot of these in-memory collections had definitely some bugs with them. And not so much bugs, but just there are pluses and minuses to putting things in memory all the time. So we have been early to the development of some development discussion topics with new technology. And then at one point, there were videos on even Bitcoin and Ethereum. Those videos have been removed because of the 2017 hysteria. So returning to this slide about automating ETL, of course, the coupon is listed in this video's description. Another thing that there's a misconception on these courses is, first of all, Skillshare is a premium-based subscription, so you just subscribe to it. But the Udemy course that I have is, and people will ask, well, where's a $10 coupon? There's none, and there's never going to be. And that's because every year I add new and relevant content. So for instance, this year I'm featuring content on the cloud, and I'm featuring content on performance testing, and those are very important in ETL. And then the other thing as well is, in this course, if you complete projects, and that's your own projects, you can complete a standard project, but it's better to complete your own projects. There is an optional 30-minute interview, and this is where you can get feedback if you want to be in this industry. And so that optional 30-minute interview is something that you and I will actually sit down and discuss, and I'll give you feedback on where you're at with your skills and what somebody would be looking for in this industry, because I used to do interviews all the time every Friday. And then, of course, there is a bonus for long-term students above a completion percent. So other courses, and I have been enrolled in other Udemy courses just in general, they do not offer this kind of stuff. And that's why they charge $10. You have to realize they don't ever update stuff. And so you might be in a course that, 10 years later is irrelevant. And so that's one of the reasons why they charge that. I'm not going to charge that. If that's what you want, you should get in one of those other courses that they never update things. And likewise, an optional 30-minute interview, I can't speak for other people, but I know when I was in college, I got to know my professors, and it's one of those things that I would totally take advantage of that if that was me. So this channel covers some of the basics of data development and security. And of course, it was inspired by a college course that cost $3,000 and consumed over 50 hours of content. And of course, there's more advanced content available in courses, but all of the content on this YouTube channel, as you see, is free. There's also extra content, Tech Powwow, and then there's a virtual tech meetup, and that used to be a SQL Server meetup, but I've changed it to a virtual tech meetup instead. And because of what's currently going on at the time of this video being recorded, I'm not using the Premiere feature. When things pass, I'm going to go back to using the Premiere feature, and so that means I'll be able to chat with my audience. I'll come back to this, but this is the expected schedule of content. So when you're wondering when certain content will come out, this is the schedule of that. If you are interested in credentials, you can look at the credentials that I have listed here. The only thing I want to highlight on this slide is that I'm available to consult, and of course, I'm available to help companies staff predominantly in ETL and MongoDB development, or I should say database administration as well. Now, for either of those, you will click on the About page on YouTube's homepage of this channel. You'll first of all pass the anti-bot verification, and then from there you can send an email. It should be of note that if there's any marketing email or any spam email, you'll immediately be blocked at the domain level and you will not be able to get a hold of me again. So you've been warned. This isn't an opportunity to market. This is, you need consultants or you need staff. That's what that's for. Okay. And the same thing applies to large projects. If you have a project over $1 million, I work with a team of consultants. It's the same thing. You can get in touch. The stipulation is no conflicts of interest with the company. So as far as the expected schedule, Monday is going to be development content. That is predominantly for those of you who are developers. That's when you're going to want to watch. If there's development overflow, it'll be on Wednesday along with data overflow. That's going to be rare. Thursday will be data content, which is less frequent. And then, of course, Friday, it may be security content, tech powwow, or virtual tech meetup. And if it's a long virtual tech meetup like this Friday, which is, I believe, 40 minutes long or over 40 minutes, then it's probably going to just be once a month. And that's because a lot of times those 40-minute or 50-minute videos, it's about 6 to 10 hours of work ahead of time. And so the reason why those are less frequent is just the amount of work that goes behind them.